Hi everyone, it's Cinder again. I just wanted to make another video, this time about some everyday issues that I face and that a lot of other trans people face. So, you'll have to excuse me for being a little tired. Been busy all day long, put together a new frame and a new bed. It's my roommate's, two of my roommates' birthday, my roommate and her boyfriend. So this will be, I may be a little off here, but I'll just start off here. So everyday struggles that me and other trans people face. The first one I have on my little list here is pronouns. I know how difficult it is for family and friends to adjust to someone who they've known for years using different pronouns. You know, him and his. Instead, now it's her and hers. And you know, even I mess up. Like my boyfriend, I used to all the time call him she, not all the time, but I'd mess up like every couple weeks, and it really hurts him. And I think that's something I really want to address, is that, you know, it hurts. It's really painful. I mean, like, imagine if someone was calling you the wrong gender and you just kept telling them, no, I'm a guy, so why are you calling me a girl? I'm a guy. It gets really annoying, and it's more, for him, it was more that, you know, he wanted to be seen as who he was, and I want to be seen as who I am. And if you misgender me or call me the wrong name, it's almost like saying, I don't really see you as that. It's like your identity is not valid in my brain yet. So it is difficult, and that's why we really harp on it and really ask for people to really consider and do their best to use the right pronouns and use the right name. And that's why misgendering somebody is such a big deal. Alright, second thing, struggles that I have every day. One of the big ones is jealousy. I mean, going out to the movies tonight or going out to eat, I just see these, like, really cute girls with, like, much longer hair than me and, like, just really cute faces and everything, and I'm just like, man, I feel, you know, like less of a, not less of a person, but less pretty, less self-confident, because all these other people are like, you know, they're cisgender, their mind and their body match, and I'll never get that. So, you know, they're already one step above me, and I feel like less of a woman and less of a, you know, less beautiful and less pretty and all that kind of stuff because of it. And it's painful to be envious that way. Part of my, when I was presenting as male, part of my attraction to women was that envy, is that when I would have sex with them, it wasn't me having sex with them, it was me imagining having sex as them, because I was really envious of, you know, how they got to experience sex, and so envious of I'm me wanting to do that, and me being like, that's how I want to do it, that's how I want to experience it, because that's who I am. So that's tough. Jealousy and envy. Passing is part of that too. Knowing you're not passing, and you know, knowing you're not in passing, and worrying that someone's gonna get the wrong impression, or not really see who you are, or looking at you strangely. It is difficult, and it is scary, and it's something that, you know, you deal with, and, you know, something I deal with, not as much anymore, because I feel like I pass a little bit better, but something I did deal with for a long time, and it's something that every trans person does deal with. So it is tough, you know, knowing that you're not passing, but having the courage to go out there and try to pass and try to, you know, be who you are, because people just won't see you. They'll see, you know, whatever they want to see. Which could be, you know, a 6'7" guy who kind of looks like a girl, or is trying very badly to look like a girl. I mean, it's sad. I mean, and that's why, you know, we really need empathy from people who are not trans. Another thing, mostly for male to female transgender people, is their voice. Like, if I'm and excuse me for doing this, but if I'm out walking around and I forget what I'm doing, and I'm, you know, relaxed and talking to my boyfriend, and I'm just like, oh yeah, we should go get something to eat, I'm really hungry. You know, it suddenly drops my confidence. I'm looking around, seeing who heard that, you know, who just, you know, tagged me. who clocked me, who now knows that I'm trans. It's just a frightening feeling, and I'm kind of on that subject. I've recently, I kind of drop back and forth between, this voice and my male voice, depending on where I am, like at work or talking here, or talking to people online, or if I'm out, I talk in a female voice. But if I'm at home, I just woke up, like I don't bother to try. I'm now trying to do it as much as possible, never dropping out of it, because I need to train myself to stay in this no matter what. And if I don't train myself to stay in this, then I'll, I will be switching back and forth unintentionally, and that's not what I want. Plus, I don't really have a use for the lower voice, so. And that kind of leads into the next one, dysphoria. And that's just, I look at myself and I don't see what I want. And it's like, that's not me. I look in the mirror and I'm like, who is this person looking back at me? And sure, I realize, like, logically that is me. That's my body, but it's not the body I should have. It's the body I want to have. So it's very distressing to look in the mirror every day and be like, like, at least for me right now, I'm like, oh, that's better, but not there. And I don't know if I'll ever be there, but better is better than nothing. So, things are definitely tough. I mean, these are things that everyone experiences. I mean, dysphoria for me was 100 times worse when I first came out. Looking in the mirror and seeing, a big beard and short hair, I was just like, this is not right. Not how I want to look. And, I grew my hair multiple times when I was a kid, because I wanted to have long hair, but I couldn't pull it off. I didn't look right. I knew people were looking at me funny, and, people would tell me I needed to cut my hair, so I did. And having other people tell me to cut my hair, it kind of leads into another subject. How my being trans affects other people. The friend that they used to have, or the son they used to have, is no longer there. And whether it be the thought that, I'm losing my son, or, kind of distancing yourself from a friend, everyone is affected by me being trans. And that hurts. I mean, that hurts me. Like, I don't want people to be affected. I personally love to keep all my problems inside. I don't want to deal, they're my problems. I want to deal with them. I don't want other people to deal with them. And my boyfriend Dex is the same way. He doesn't let anyone else in, because his problems are his problems, and I'm trying to get him to stop that, but it's difficult, and understandably so. Again, there's no real solution to this, but I just hope people aren't affected heavily by my being trans. Another tough thing for me, focusing on the things that are important. When I first came out as trans, one of the big things was that I couldn't think of anything else but being trans. Being trans was everything. Whether it was getting dressed, going out, getting a soda, waking up, going to the bathroom, taking a shower, working, playing, going to see my friends. Everything was about me being trans. How did I look? How did I sound? How was I perceived? Did I sit when I peed? Did I, how did I look in the shower? What clothes was I going to wear? Everything was about me being trans. It was, first of all, it was kind of freeing at first, because I was like, oh, I get to finally express myself the way I want to express myself. Thank God, this is awesome. What a release. And then it was all consuming, and just everything was about being trans support groups, or trans online, or talking to other trans people. I mean, everything was about trans. It was great, and at the same time, it was terrible. And for all the trans people out there who may be watching this, since then, it's decreased. I'm no longer, like, as I said in my previous videos, I don't really identify as trans. I identify as female. So when I get up and go to the bathroom, I do so as a female, not as a trans person or a trans woman. It's a lot different, because I'm more focusing on the things that are important in my life. My job, or my boyfriend, or, getting a new bed, or, what have you. I'm focusing on those things which are important in my life, instead of, just being trans. Trans is, if you excuse the alliteration, trans is transient. It's a period you go through in your life. You change, you become the gender you feel you are. And once you've done that, the end. And eventually you'll get used to it. All the anxiety of being a trans person and going out and like being misgendered or whatever will go away, and eventually you'll just kind of accept it. I mean, there's two usually nowadays when I go out, I make sure, like right now I'm all done up, so I'm like clean shaven and I have makeup on. I haven't done laser enough yet, so I do still have a little bit of a beard shadow. So I make up and I do my hair and I wear nice clothes and shit. And I get gendered correctly, and that's great. And, the other mode I go out in is, I haven't shaved, and I don't have makeup on, and I have a little bit of stubble, but I still style my hair the same way, and maybe I wear a little bit more androgynous clothes. I don't wear something with this deep of a neckline, but the idea is just fuck it. Fuck it. I don't care what these people think. I don't give a fuck. And that's tough to do for a lot of people, and it's tough to do for me, but really, I mean, and half the people I see I'll never see again in my life. And if they can't accept me for who I am, then what do I care? I mean, my boyfriend has seen me 3 days not shaven, my hair all messed up, haven't showered, gross looking, and he's still calls me the most beautiful lady he's ever seen. That's what counts. He sees me for me. And that's really what's important. And if other people can't see that, then they're not worth being a part of my life. Now, there's 3 other major issues. All the other ones are kind of social issues, and you can get past them, whatever. These 3. First one is issues with your therapist. If you're seeing a therapist and you require a letter for surgery, like for female to male transgender people, you have chest surgery, top surgery to get rid of the breasts, or bottom surgery to create a penis. I don't know how to put these things delicately, so forgive me. And for male to female, you have maybe implants, or you have creating the vagina, SRS, sexual reassignment surgery, and you need a letter for that from a therapist saying you're not fucking crazy and shit. You can go to Thailand and do it, but in the U.S. usually it's required to have a letter. My boyfriend, when he got top surgery, needed to have a letter. Now, a lot of surgeons require, pay me for 3 months of therapy before you can do this, before I'll write you a letter. And it's terrible because some therapists, you go for 3 months, and they're like, I think you need to go for 3 more months before I'll write this. And you're just set back, and it's just awful. And those issues for trans people are the hardest thing because they know where they want to go, and they know where they need to go, and they can't. They just are physically unable to. Either money issues, social issues, or other issues prevent them from going, to a place where letter isn't needed, or, therapist appointments are too expensive. It's tough. That's tough. And kind of leading into that, legal issues, changing your name, changing your sex on your birth certificate or on your state ID. Some states will not ever change your birth certificate gender identifier, which means that in the state's eyes, you will always be your birth gender, which is so hard for some people. I mean, I do this sometimes. It happens to me sometimes. I'll go buy. This happened to GameStop. Went in to buy a game. It was a bunch of rock band games because I was trying to find a certain song and I wasn't sure which one it was on, so they were all $3. I was like, whatever. So I bought like 6 rock band games. And I go up there and I give him the stack of games, and he's like, okay, well, give him my card. And he's like, can I see your ID? Immediately my heart drops. Yeah, you can see my ID. So I hand him my ID, which I don't have right directly on me. Otherwise, I'd show you. But it's me with shorter hair. And it has an M, and it has my birth name on it and everything. So he looks at it, looks at me, looks at it, looks at me, and goes, huh. That's interesting. Or the locksmith. I got locked out of my apartment. Give him this. Give him my ID because he needs my ID to open the door. And he's like, is this your ID? And I said, yes. And he's like, this ID is of a boy. I know. It's me. He's like, whatever. And opens the door. And it's those legal issues. Like, it's so difficult for me to overcome that, because there's nothing I can do about that until the legal process goes through. So every day I struggle with people looking at my ID and having to share this hugely intimate personal thing with them that I don't want to share with them. I am who I am. I know it's legally I need to show you my ID, but fuck. There should be a scan or something, or I can put my thumb in and show my fucking face or DNA or something and have them know, instead of having to out myself every time I go into a store and want to purchase something, and the person behind the counter gets to judge me for my decisions and my actions and who I am. How horrid is that? The last issue I have here is surgery. Surgery is tough. It's not an everyday issue, but the thought of, do I want surgery? Should I get surgery? How much is surgery going to cost? Where am I going to get all that money? That is awful. It's horribly painful to wonder about that. It's almost as painful as wanting to know if you need to bank sperm or if you need to save your eggs, because it's a decision that I, at 22, I have no idea. I have no idea if I want SRS in the future. Like if someone would be like, I have a magic wand and I can give you, a vagina, instantly I'd be like, fuck yeah, that'd be awesome, because I have tons of dysphoria shit about that. But it's not about that. I don't have the money for that. I probably won't ever have the money for that. And God knows I don't have the time. And furthermore, the pain and all the other shit that goes along with it, I don't know if I could do it. I really don't. It really scares me a lot. And that's, when I see other girls that are pretty and smart and cute and everything, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm smart and I'm almost cute. And, most people see me as a girl, but, first of all, the envy pops up because they, have grown up as a girl, and I'll never get that. And second thing pops up, they can climb into bed with any guy, and they have no other problems about it, and I can't. That sucks. It's an everyday issue. Every day. So all these thoughts that I've talked about go through my head on a daily basis, and they get easier to deal with as it goes. But what I really need to say is, first of all, a lot of these are passing problems, and for the most part aren't that important. And you'll get over them. If you're trans, you'll get over them, and everything will work out. Like, I'm much better. I don't think about all that stuff every day. I didn't think about being trans but 3 times tonight while I was out, and it was, when my voice dropped because we'd watched a whole movie and I talked afterwards and I didn't realize what I was doing. And the second thing I want to say here is, for everyone who isn't trans, I hope these things have given you some empathy, have explained why we do what we do and how painful it is, because not only have all trans people experienced this stuff mostly all their life, maybe not all of this, but a good portion of it, but they'll continue to experience it even transitioning, and it gets better, but not immediately. So when you see a trans person, or if you have a trans person in your family or your group of friends, know that they go through a lot every day, and it's a struggle for them to get out of bed sometimes and just to go through with it. I see posts all the time on Reddit that say, I don't know if I can do this. It's not because I don't want to. It's because it's really hard. Socially, economically, it's difficult. So I hope you guys have some empathy towards everyone in your life, trans people included, but also everyone else, because everyone is fighting a hard battle and deserves a little bit of kindness. All right. I think that's my depressing talk for the day. If you guys have any questions or comments or thoughts or topics that you'd like me to discuss or what have you, feel free to shoot me a message on YouTube, or I'm also on Reddit or on Skype or on whatever. And I'm happy to talk with anyone about anything they need to talk about, family, friend, being trans, what have you. Okay. Well, I'm going to go die in my new bed, and it's going to be awesome. Okay. See you guys later. Bye.